What's going on YouTube, Rumble, Twitter, wherever I'm posting this. I just want to react to this video, giving my thoughts on it, and hopefully I can be able to prove that women are evil and that they serve Satan. Obviously, women are doing this on purpose. I don't think a single time in this story we're going to listen to that the woman says, well, no, she does say she does this a lot on purpose, but she's not going to call herself evil. But I challenge you to think about, well, what else would you call it? It's not good what she's talking about, so what else would you call it? For background, I come from a single mother household. She really never talked to me about any of this stuff before. She kept me away from my father, and what a lot of people have to understand is men don't wake up and start beating on their wives for no reason. Okay, so women file 80% of divorces. They usually initiate the conflict, or at least they're egging the man on in some situations to do things, and it's because they're evil. Their father is Satan, the devil, the father of lies, and that's why women are prompted to believe lies and they act on those lies. And it's all about me, and how I feel, and it's all going to show in the video. Now, the video is called "Woman Realizes Divorcing Her Husband Was a Huge Mistake."
To not do it under normal circumstances. If your spouse is beating you or threatening you or your children, then of course, get out and fast. In my case...
So it's interesting to note she's talking to women, right? Women, get out of there if you're being abused or getting beat on, right? Well, what are the qualifications for men to divorce? Could it be abuse?
There was no abuse. We were together for 8 years. That was mostly good. And we have 4 kids. Right around 5 years, I got a promotion at work. And
the promotion. This is where it all starts, right? First of all, women aren't supposed to be working. Women don't like to work. They say they want to focus on their careers. They want to make a lot of money, but they don't want to work for it. That's why they want the man to do it for them. That's where gender roles came in. And back in the good old days, the patriarchy, Christianity, that's what was happening. Men worked, women stayed home with the children. All right? But now she's working. She got a promotion.
And I got it in my head that my ex-husband was dragging me down.
What kind of nonsense is that? Flip the roles, right? Whenever you want to know if a woman actually believe in her bullshit, in her bullshit ideals or ideology that comes from the left and this equality dogma, just flip the genders and ask her, would it be okay for it to be the same, right? If the husband was working and he got a promotion and he started to think, man, my wife is dragging me down, you know, instantly she would shut that down. She'd be like, that's wrong. Why would you even think that? But here she is thinking that.
Or at least holding me back from more success.
And it's all about me. Women only take. They always want more. She couldn't have enough success to not complain.
And a better...
This is every woman, by the way. You're no better than the person next to you. We're all the same. We're more alike than you know. But because we're human, our differences speak volumes, and they're unique and they're fun. But we're more alike than you know.
Life. We never had a lot of money, but with my promotion, I was now making more than he was.
That's super interesting. I didn't catch this. Man, I don't want to stop too much. I'm sorry, but like, this is just good stuff. It's like, you never made a lot of money, so why do you need more now? What are you gonna do with it? She has no idea. But now she's making more than him, right? The dynamics are really flipped now. So she's playing the man's role, the provider, and he, well.
I started working longer hours, and at the same time, his hours were cut.
The longer hours thing, that's so interesting to me too, because if you're making more money, of course you gotta work longer hours. Men, they don't mind that. They know that. Women don't know that. When they're getting their degrees, when they're in school and they're taking these jobs, they really don't understand how much time is gonna be put into that if you want to make that much money, if you want to make that much money, right?
So he was at home more. I really began to resent him because he was home and because he got to spend time with our kid.
Is that evil? Why would you resent the father of his kids for spending time with his kids? Is that evil? Is that evil? That like, why? That comes from Satan. It's a spiritual battle, folks. It was like, she's not making, like, if she was a logical person and humans were innately good, or at least if women were innately good, she wouldn't resent the man she procreated with for spending time with his kids. It doesn't matter how much time he's spending with his kids. She should be thankful for that. Fatherless homes is the number one problem in the black community, but in America. That's why we don't have any families. That's why we can't vote properly and get good people in the government. And that's why women are pushing in socialism.
Most nights when I got home, they were already getting ready for bed, if not already sleeping. After a few months of my new job, it was clear to me that things were not going well at home without me there. Some nights the dishes weren't done when I got home, or the kids hadn't eaten, or whatever else I could think of to be mad at him about. It really didn't matter.
It didn't matter. Is that evil? Is that evil? She said, it doesn't matter. I'm just getting mad. I'm just getting mad. And Satan loves it when you're mad because you make mistakes and you overreact when you're mad. But I like this part too because as a man, and I'm a single guy, right? Came from a single mother household, by the way. Right? She drove my father away. But I'm a single guy. And I got dishes still from Thanksgiving in my sink. You know, it's like men, I truly believe this in my heart of hearts. Men don't like doing the housework, but I would love to work long hours at a job. I'm going to work overnights and I'm not going to complain about that because at least I'm helping the world work, push forward. I'm making money. Like that's what I want to do. I couldn't care less about the dishes. I'll just eat out. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but here she is complaining about dishes. It's like, I don't complain about the dishes that I leave because I know I'm leaving them and I'm going to do the work later or whenever I get to it. But here she are. She could have been doing the dishes if she stayed home, but she decided to work, right? And it's really hard. I really don't want to do them. And this is with all the chores, really. It's like, I really don't want to do them. I don't really mind as long as it's not like disgusting or too dirty, you know, I'll fix it then. But it's like, you know, that's just how men work. So you got this man staying at home, raising the kids by himself, and this is what happens. It's like, this is not his gender role, and it's not going too well, is it?
He kept saying that he would try harder, but that it was hard being home all the time.
Now that's interesting too, right? Because and I think this might be a men problem too. I know I have this issue. It's hard to do your work or your job at home because home is where you want to relax. Right, it's really hard. When I was in school, I did my work and my homework always away from my home. If I really wanted to do it, I would go to the computer lab or I'll stay after school to get it done because I can't do it at home. Home is where I relax. I go to sleep there. Right, but I love this part of the video too. Remember this, and I'm gonna cut it for you too. Remember this. He said he was gonna try harder. Right? He's gonna make this housework. He's gonna adapt and fit his gender role, the new gender role, the woman's role.
That always made me really mad.
Is that evil? Is that evil? He said, I'm gonna try harder. That made me really mad. Why are you trying hard to keep this family together and make it work? I don't want to work.
For the next couple years, things kept getting worse.
Oh, I bet.
My hours weren't any shorter.
Why would they get shorter?
On and off full time.
You gotta stay with the kids.
There was no convenient time for him to be working full time because of my hours.
It's your fault then. That makes it your fault, right? You got the hours. You wanted to do the job. You're working the job, and now she's complaining about it. Is this evil?
Also needed the money. Whenever he would tell me that he could get extra hours, I would always complain. And the less hours he worked, the more I complained.
How can you make it up? It's like, how can you make it up? This has to come from a woman's mind because a man could not write this out and be like, because it doesn't even make sense when you say it out loud. It doesn't even make sense. The more hours he got, the more I complain. If he got more hours, and the less hours he worked, the more I complain. He can't win. What's happening? What is happening? There's no sense of logic. And then when we try to explain it to you, they get more mad, you know? Is that evil? Is that evil when you can't listen to truth and good? Is that evil?
That he wasn't bringing in enough money.
How can he?
Whenever he brought up the contradiction, I would tell him that he needed to figure it out.
You know what that means? Leave her. Send her to the streets. It means, well, you know what? This is over because you can't figure out your problem that you're creating for no reason that has no solution.
I knew that it would bother him, so I started saying that a lot and for everything that I could. I really started to resent him, and I pulled away
Is that evil?
from him. I knew that it was...
You see all the fire? It's representing evil. It's Satan. Hell. It's all the imagery they're trying to tell you. They're trying to tell you, and the universe will tell you too. Ask God to reveal it to you.
was hurting him, but I didn't care. If he didn't want to be hurt, then he would at least try to make me happy. I used that same...
He would at least try to make me happy. You are not a god. Women are not gods. Okay? Men look towards God at the order. God in Christ, Christ over man, man over woman, woman over children. Right? Men look towards God. Women, they look towards men. That's why she's making this video. That's why she's gonna get the outcome she deserved. And that's why I'm making this video. I'm hoping to save one person.
Same thing to justify when I started to talk to another guy at work. I thought he was just a friend, but talking at work turned into texting at home, and then pictures and videos, and then trying to sneak some alone time with him. I knew that it was wrong, but it made me feel so alive, and my husband had not made me feel like that in years.
So is this evil? Flip the gender roles. Come on, people. It's you just do the same test. And if she really believed in her feminist ideals or equality of any type, she would know if he was doing this, she would blow a fuse. She would have a fit if he was doing this. Right? But it's okay for her to do this. Of course it's not. It's evil. And women do this all the time in variation of different ways. They're like, well, I don't do that exact thing. Of course you don't do that exact thing. You're doing it in variation of different ways. They don't realize they're doing it at the time, but it's still evil. You're influenced either by good or evil. And if you're not conscious, you're just moving like in evil. You're just moving in evil. Satan's her father.
I was tired of being unhappy.
I'm not
happy. I was
happy.
doing this for me. The worst was the night I came home.
Doing this for me. It's all about me with women. Greed, envy. Is that evil? Yeah, it's one of the sins.
This was the night I came home at a reasonable time and found that he had cleaned the whole house, cooked the whole family dinner, and picked out a movie for all of us to watch together.
This is the worst. This is the worst thing that can happen in a marriage. This is the worst thing that could happen in a marriage. The man cleaned. The man cooked. The man picked a movie for the family to bond over together. This is the worst thing that could happen. Remember when he said he was going to try? He made it work. He made it work. He did what he said he was going to do like a man. But he became a woman, a beta. And it didn't work. Look, it's pissing her off. Is this evil?
Have made me swoon
Fire.
A couple years earlier. But that night, I couldn't even look at him, and I pretended to be sick.
Would she have been happier if he let the house be and covered in trash and just didn't do anything? Would she have been happier? What can you do, man? What can you do? This is all women. Well, not all, but most. This is women. This is women. This is the average woman, especially if she's working. This all stemmed from her working. This video started. She was like, "Well, I started working, started making more money, and now she's just mad. So, don't marry a woman who's working, right? That's the lesson of the story. If you really want to marry somebody, first of all, do it the right way. Don't have sex with her until you're married. But also, you have to run the house. You have to pay for everything. Her only job is to come in and do what you say. And I'm gonna have her do is cook, clean, look after the kids. It's like, you're gonna do your job.
I spent the rest of the night in bed while he waited on me and checked on me and even made me different food.
Beta!
And brought it to me in bed.
He's a slave. He's serving her like the god she wants to be served as, and it's not working. It's pissing her off even more. That's what happens when you feed into evil. It destroys its own. Evil destroys its own. And right now, they are married. They are married, meaning they committed to each other. So she's destroying her own. And what I really don't understand, what don't make any sense to me, really it don't. It's like there are kids involved. These are people, by the way, like you and me, who did not ask to be born, who did not ask to be on this earth, who did not ask to be here. You forced them to be here, and now you're not even taking care of them. It does nowhere. The kids, and they're all having fun watching the movie, and the father, they're all having fun watching the movie. She's being a bitch in her room by herself. Why? Why? Is this evil? And he's serving her like a slave, treating her like a god, trying to make it work. But it's never going to work because he's doing the opposite of the order. He's looking towards women, right? And she's blowing it all up because now Satan's in their home. Satan is in their home.
It made
Evil.
me feel terrible.
Oh,
and then
man.
it made me angry that he made me feel that way.
Anger is of Satan. Anger is a emotion given to us by Satan. All emotions are given to us by Satan, and she's doing everything in this video is based off of her emotions too, by the way. Which is why it didn't work, which is why it's evil.
And by the end of the night, I was texting with the other guy.
Amazing.
Over the next month or two, from that night, it did not matter what he did.
Nope.
He was wrong just for breathing most days.
And this stemmed from what? Cleaning the house, washing the dishes, watching a movie with his kids. They're his kids.
He would get so upset with how I was treating him.
I bet.
And I would just wait and egg him on into losing it because I knew it would happen eventually.
She knew it would happen eventually. Women know exactly what they're doing. That's why when you hear these women saying the opposite of what's happening here, they are lying. Women are of their father, the devil. Satan is the father of lies. They are lying. They know exactly what they're doing, but they want to manipulate people. they want to do what they want to do. And instead of telling the truth, they rather egg you on and force you to explode. No man wakes up and starts beating on his wife. No man just wakes up and go like, you know what? We've been dating all these years. We've been married. I'm just going to beat my wife now. What? Where did that come from? Where did that come from? Okay. She's doing this on purpose. She just admitted to doing it on purpose. And all of this stuff happens on purpose. Divorces are filed by 80% of the women. Is this evil? Of course it's evil. Women are evil. They're of their father, the devil.
After most of the fights we had, he would apologize for whatever I told him he did wrong, if there even was something. But I never did. I would usually find a way to make him feel even worse.
Why is she doing this to her husband? She's trying to make him feel worse. Why is she doing this? It's evil.
I knew that I was right because he was wrong, and that was all that mattered to me.
The need to be right. Shout out to Kevin Samuels. The need to be right.
I even pretended that I didn't care when he found out about my relationship with the guy from work.
I don't care about this.
It really destroyed me inside.
And the reason I don't care about the fact that she's seeing another guy is because she wasn't committed to this marriage anyway. She wasn't committed to these kids anyway. That makes her evil. You know, so of course she's doing this stuff, you know, and then flip the gender roles. just flip the genders. Imagine if this was a man, you know, you guys would be calling him all sorts of stuff because you know it's wrong. But it's okay to judge men. Society don't judge women. You know why? Because evil works through the woman. Evil works through the woman. It comes through the woman. And so society, which is run by Satan, because Satan owns the world, and our corrupt government, which everybody acknowledges corrupt, they champion women like Cardi B. They champion women like Lori Lightfoot. They champion women like Camilla Harris. All of these nasty, evil women who are destroying our country, who abuse men, who are racist and and hypocrites. All Democrats. And it's disgusting to me. It's evil. Evil comes through the woman.
See him holding back see that. He was at his weakest, and that was when I chose to tell him that I wanted a divorce.
Not when he's strong. Shout out to Coach Gang Free Agent Lifestyle. Not when he was strong. The women have to 1,000 cuts over a long period of time, so she can make sure she get her value out of him. By the way, right? Whatever money he's bringing into the family, all the time he's spending with the kids, she has to get the value out of all of him first before she divorced him. By the way, and she's cheating on him at the same time. Women do this.
I could almost hear his heart shattering inside his chest. He talked and fought and said that we could work through it together. I really wasn't interested in fixing our marriage.
Evil.
But I mostly ended things with the other guy, but only because I knew I could get it back if I wanted it.
Women really think they're gods. They really think they're gods, and they think men grow on trees to be used by them and to give them resources for free. There's no such thing as a free lunch.
I could see that he was trying, and occasionally I would let him know.
Evil.
But for the most part, I kept being a huge to him for any and all reasons that I could think of.
And women are doing this. They are doing this. I came from a single mother. I know she was doing this. Women are doing this, and they're going to continue to lie about it too. They're going to say, not all women do this. Yeah, but like if 5% if 95% of women are doing this, you have a good case to just say all. You have a really solid case to just say all at that point. But of course not all. But women don't understand the difference between probability and possibility anyway. They don't even understand the difference, which is so funny to me because when I was in high school, I went to a kind of advanced high school, a good high school, the white high school, and we had college math classes, and there was two really options most people got into. You could either take calculus or statistics. All the women went into statistics. All the women. I mean, all the women. I remember when all the women in my grade, I was like, oh, wow, y'all are going to keep doing math. They was like, yeah, because we don't want to do math in college because, women don't like to do math. Women don't even like to do math. So I don't know why they keep pushing women into the STEMs. They don't even like to do it. But they were like, yeah, so we don't have to do math in college. I was like, what math are you going to do? Because you get the same college credit for it anyway. They was like, we're doing statistics. It's easy. That's what they said. I remember that's what they said. It's easy. I did calculus. Calculus is nice. It's fun. It's complicated. But they said it's easy. And they don't even understand probability versus possibility. Just because something's possible doesn't mean it's probable. And the probability of a woman doing this to you is 95% as far as I'm concerned, or it's at least 80 because women initiate 80% of the divorces.
I'm not sure how much more the man could have done to make me happy.
I know what he could have.
Besides finding a job that paid enough for me to not have to work at all.
There it is. I said that earlier. There it is. Women, she doesn't want to work at all. Working is a man's job. Working means providing. So she didn't want to do any of the male gender role. She don't want to do any of it. But these feminists will have you believe that all women want to work. And then the young women, that's why they target kids, the left, by the way, why they're trying to push vaccines on kids in schools. Well, they target kids. That's why they give these kids degenerate media. They target them to go to college. Why? So you can get a job and work. But they don't want to do that. They want to have a family. They want relationships. But here she is destroying the relationship. Why? Because she's working, being the man in the relationship. She doesn't want that type of relationship. She wants her woman role back. But she gave it up. Remember, at the very beginning, she got a promotion. She was working. Shout out to the Coach Gang. That's the whole reason I'm watching this video too. He showed it. And shout out to the Coach Gang. He said, so I can focus on my career.
He said that he was looking, but looking and finding are two different things. I started
But also remember, she got a promotion. Also remember, she got a promotion. That means whatever job she was doing when they started, she kept going in it instead of letting him go into and advance in another career, right? We both can't move up and then you expect him to make more. It doesn't work like that. Somebody has to stay home, clean the house, watch the kids. Somebody has to do it. And she knows that, and she gave the responsibility to him, and then she got mad. And now, how is he so? Even if he did get a job, who's gonna watch the kids? Who's gonna clean the house? Even if he did got a job, who's gonna do that stuff?
Awful things to him, and even outright ignoring him. I was so confident with mine and everyone else's opinion.
The blind leading the blind.
A lawyer, and within a couple weeks had filed for divorce.
Dumbass.
It went pretty smoothly. The ex-husband didn't ask for much besides to not get divorced.
And that's because the government's evil. That's because the government empowers women. Evil works through the woman. Our government is corrupt. The family court system is honestly the pinnacle of that. You would think it's our president, but it's the family court system because they're the ones initiating these divorces. Like, imagine if she couldn't, imagine if she just couldn't divorce him, because that's what marriage is supposed to be, right? Imagine if she couldn't divorce him no matter what, because he didn't do anything. He's not cheating on her. He's actually taking care of the kids. He became super dad. Remember, he got better. He cleaned the house. He got better. He's becoming super dad. But she really has no reason to divorce him. She chose to work. She has to deal with her consequences. But nope. The government's like, okay, we'll easily squash this contract that you signed and you already committed to this man. We'll easily destroy it for you because it's a woman asking for it. It's evil. Is this not evil? Is this not evil? Tell me women are evil without telling me they're evil.
And to try to work it all out. I didn't care about that though. He was broken, but I was free. I could do whatever I wanted without having to feel any guilt or answer to anybody. It was an amazing feeling of freedom.
I bet it was. I bet it was. That's what the man was saying.
In the first month after he moved out, I missed garbage day 3 times.
The first month, she missed garbage day 3 times.
There was also rarely a single clean dish, and the laundry sat in piles so long that I had to start doing the sniff test to see if it could be worn again.
So all the housework, the woman's role, all the housework is still not getting done. Because if you live by yourself, I'm a single guy, I live by myself, I still got housework to do. Yep, because if you live by yourself, you have to do housework. You still doing the work anyway. You're still doing the work anyway. The women's job, the women's role in the marriage, she still has to do that work anyway when she's single. What reason does she have to divorce her husband? What? Women are asking for too much, and that's why they just blow it up thinking they can get another one. Yeah, okay.
I also never saw my kids more miserable. My oldest had seen some of the messages from the other guy months earlier, and she knew that the ex-husband still wanted to try to work it out. It didn't take her long to stop talking to me at all, except to say that she wanted to go to my ex-husband's house.
Because she's a hypocrite. She's a hypocrite. She sees her mom abusing her father, right? In my case, my mom kicked my father out when I was so young. When me and my brother, I have a brother, when we were so young, it's like I really never had a chance to bond with him at all, right? Which was almost a good thing, but not really, because if Satan's the woman's God, who's the man's God? The actual God, the good God, right? So I didn't have that relationship that I needed to have. Fatherless homes is the number 1 problem in America. We need our fathers, right? That's why this matriarchy, putting women in charge, isn't working. They make pretty bad decisions. Look at this woman blowing up her own marriage. You think women, anybody close to this type of mindset, should be running a country or be in charge of anything? No, women were made to follow, men were made to lead. Which is why her weaponizing the family court against this guy is disgusting. Is this evil? Tell me when you're ready to admit this is evil.
The others all told me they wanted to live with the ex-husband too.
I bet.
I did my best to try to make them happy, but I ended up just buying them toys all the time.
That's all she could
do. And
do.
the happiness only lasted minutes. I also was having a lot of trouble with work. Being alone, I couldn't work all those extra hours that I was expected to. I finally gave in and started calling the ex-husband to watch the kids.
So we're back to square one. We're back to square one. Oh, remember why the husband was watching the kids? Because she was working. Oh, I can't work because I kicked my husband out for some reason. This doesn't make any sense. This doesn't make any sense. Women are dumb.
He would always come over as soon as he could, and he always asked me if I needed anything. When I would get...
And look at this beta simp. This fucking monkey gump. This simp over here still... I would have said no. Seriously, I would have said no. I would have did what my father did and left to Texas. Well, he left to Texas for multiple reasons. Working. He was working. He just couldn't afford it with child support payments, rent, and it just wasn't feasible. So he had to let us go. But it's like, that's what I would have done with this too. I'd have been like, no, let your life collapse because you said you can do it on your own. You said you didn't need me. That's why you divorced me, right? You didn't need me. We were making it work. You decided not to make it work. She's getting what she deserves.
At home, I would find clean dishes and laundry and even dinner sometimes. He would never say too much after I got home. He would just say to call him if I needed anything.
Bam.
And then he would leave. One night, he took out the garbage.
He said, I'm on call, milady. I'm on call. I'm not married to you, but I'm still gonna be your knight. I'm still gonna simp for you.
And brought it to the curb because it was garbage night, and I forgot again.
Look at him, still doing the housework.
So sad when it was time to go.
Because he misses his kids. Fathers love their children. I did meet my father recently, and he loves me. He never wanted to leave me. They leave the woman because they're crazy. They're evil. They're of Satan. You can't let Satan into the kingdom. You can't. I can't let Satan into the kingdom.
After a couple months, my friends convinced me to go out on a date. It was for dinner and a movie, and I was excited and hopeful.
I bet you were.
At dinner, I started getting a feeling of overwhelming guilt. It got so bad that I ended up not even going to the movie. A week and about 1 million tears later, I was on a therapist's couch. I told her everything that had happened, starting with the promotion that I got at work. She did not agree with me or with any of the encouragement to divorce that I got.
The therapist set her straight. The therapist was like, why'd you leave this guy? She said that was dumb. Of course, the lawyer's telling you to divorce. They're making money off of you. Of course, the government wants you to divorce. They're making money off of you.
I ended up in her office 2 and sometimes 3 times a week.
So here she is, no family, going to a therapist now, working long hours. Here she is, by herself.
And the more that I talked to prove that I was right, the more that I started to see how wrong I was. It was truly heartbreaking. I don't know if I cried as much in my whole life.
How do you get here? It's like, I truly don't get it. Like, how do you get here? You go this long not realizing you're wrong. You either believe truth or lies. And women just double down on lies, bro. They rather go by how they feel and believe a lie than accept the truth. That's why it's the man's job to bring the woman into his world. All right? You have to come into my house where I pay all the bills, where I set the rules, where you just follow me. Just do what I tell you to do. Because you can't make these decisions. You clearly can't make these decisions. She's proving it right now.
As I did in the first months in her office. After about $2,000 of therapy sessions,
It took $2,000 to realize she was wrong.
I learned that my ex-husband had his faults, but I figured out that mine were so much worse. I did so many awful things and said awful things that I wouldn't want to be with me.
Is that evil? Is that evil?
But he did. I still remember him asking me in the meeting with the lawyer to please not go through with it.
And that's how you know men are truly good on the inside. Women are truly evil on the inside. Men are truly good on the inside. But it takes a strong man to break that evil. It takes a strong man to take her out of that hell. He was weak. He did everything she said. If he put his foot down anywhere, like, no, you're not taking that promotion. It's like, if you want to go work, go get your own apartment. How about that? Go get your own place, and you can leave if you want to go work. But he was a weak man. She ran all over him. She made all the decisions, and it blew their marriage up. It blew their marriage up.
I did go through with it, though. And then later, I bragged on here how great it felt.
Is that evil? She bragged about blowing up her marriage, destroying a family, taking the father away from his children. Is that evil? And a mother, because she was working long hours. So the kids are at home alone. That's what my mom did. True story. By the age of 8, I was home alone, running streets. I could have been running streets, but I was home alone. By 8. Does anybody care about the kids? She doesn't care about the kids. She was bragging how great it felt. Divorcing her husband. She doesn't care about the kids. Is that evil? Beings. I think they said they have 4 kids. Beings. 4 beings. Who did not ask to be there. Who only needed the guidance of their father and mother if she was mentally stable.
I was so wrong, and now I can see it.
Yeah, too
late. A couple weeks ago, I went outside with him when he was leaving the house. I asked him about getting back together. When he looked at me, his eyes were full of tears, and a couple went down his cheeks.
Because he was like, why did it take so long for you to realize you were wrong? By the way, what do you think she was doing all these years? She was working. She was on the therapist's couch. And I guarantee you she was using Tinder to get some hookups. So, like, now you're, for all intents and purposes, dirty. Right now you're dirty, sleeping with other men. I'm sure she had some other men she slept with. Right? Because women can get men to sleep with them like that because they're the gatekeepers to sex. But they misuse that. They misuse it so hard. And they can't even use it to get a commitment. You just wait to have sex till after marriage. Stop being sluts. But nope, you can't do that. That would be good. And women are Satan. Their father is the devil.
He told me that he didn't know if he could. He said that the pain has been too much for too long. And that if we got back together, that I might just turn around and do it to him again.
She would, by the way. And he's hurting. Even if he was sleeping with other women, that's not helping him either. Because he wants his kids. He wants his family back. He wants his kids. But who took that away from him? Remember, she said it. She said she did. She divorced him. Women file 80% of the divorces.
He said that he always thought that I would realize how much he loved me and stop up until I signed the divorce papers.
Yep.
And let out a big, over-exaggerated sigh of relief.
Is that evil?
He said that hurt him more than anything else, and that he doesn't know if he can ever trust me again. I don't blame him. I destroyed a man who, looking back, was a great husband. I deprived my kids of having a great father in the house with them. And I took his kids away from him.
Evil.
And me, the one who pushed for the divorce.
But she's never going to admit that what she did was evil, was she? It's not good. It wasn't good. But the truth is, there's only 2 things. Truth and consequences. Right? She was lying to him. So she wasn't following truth. And she caught consequences. She caught consequences.
Divorce, expecting happiness and a life of freedom, spend all my free time sitting at home or sitting on a therapist's couch. If your marriage is bad, look at yourself first and see if you can make changes. This is advice for men and women.
No, sure, it's advice for men and women, but women file 80% of the divorces, meaning they're not trying to make it work. Meaning, they're like, hey, can we break this up, daddy government? And government goes, sure, we can break this up. Government shouldn't even have a say in marriage. That's how serious this is. That's how serious this is, because you can't have a society if men and women can't cooperate. And the beautiful thing about America, we're the only country that limits government. The Bill of Rights is for me, the individual, the people, you, the person watching this. The Bill of Rights is for individuals. The Constitution is to protect you from the government. And so when we have families intact, right, and we start making good decisions and we all move in truth, we can make a change. We really can. But not when Satan owns the women and is blowing up our own marriages. It's we can run the blame game. We can run the blame game. Like, who fault is it? Satan works through the woman. It's the women doing it. But men have all the ability inside of us, thanks to Jesus. If they were religious, that's another big issue, I guess. But we have the ability inside of us to fight Satan and to fight evil, because he has no power here, right? If this man put his foot down and was like, no, you're not getting that promotion, no. Right, I'm gonna keep providing for the family, no, like, this wouldn't have happened. But he let the woman make more money. If the woman's gonna make decisions, she's gonna choose Satan. She's gonna choose Satan's options because they're evil. And women are just natural liars. So, like, no woman's gonna want to say that they're evil. Of course not, because they think what they're doing is good. Because it don't just sounds good to say Black Lives Matter. Of course it does, but really that's evil. You know, it's like, take 2 seconds to think. They don't think. I don't think they're capable of it. If I'm honest, I really don't think women are capable of it. They need men to show it to them. Because if they don't tell it to them, they'll just never know, and they'll just think they're right. They don't care. They won't ever be self-reflective. They won't ever use a logical mindset on their own. They can't. I really believe they can't. And women are, just listen to any woman talk. I'm so serious though. Listen to any woman talk, because what she'll do is she'll just talk about me, and my experience. Those are the words you're gonna hear. What I want, you're gonna hear I want and experience, my experience. Those exact things every time, no matter what. Because if women don't experience it themselves, they're very empiricalist. If they don't see it themselves, they don't experience it themselves. If somebody doesn't tell them that this exists, they don't think it exists. They won't believe it exists. I bet you women think there are no wars happening today. They know there's something happening in Afghanistan. So they might think there's one war happening today. There's wars in Africa. There's wars in India, I think. There's a recent war in Africa, you know. But they won't believe it. You know, they can't believe it. It's mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing to see it. It's just mind-blowing to see it. But yeah, if you want to play the blame game, it's like it's everybody's fault, obviously, but in the end, women are going to say it's men's fault. And you know what? It can be men's fault, and I think we should make it men's fault. So men, don't have sex with women anymore. Don't stop listening to them. Don't do what they say ever. Anytime you listen to a woman, you will suffer. Don't do what they say. Have them follow you or ship out. Or ship out. Most women make their money selling their bodies anyway, right? Meaning women don't have marketable skills. They don't go into math, engineering. They don't do it. They don't want to. They don't want to. And this is America, so you shouldn't have to. But it's not until after they abuse a bunch of men that they realize. And by abuse, I mean what this woman's doing. I mean throwing them men into their friend zones. I mean ghosting men, right? All of this type of stuff. And they realize they need men. The same way men were already telling them, like, we need each other. It's just so mind-blowing to see. How did it take so long in $2,000? It took years and $2,000 to realize, maybe I shouldn't have divorced the man that cleaned the house, washed the dishes, took care of the kids. Shout out to the Coach gang. Coach Greg Adams. This guy. Coach Greg Adams. This guy everything he says is right. It's a spiritual battle. All right, Satan works through the woman. He comes from below the order. God works through the man, coming from above in the order. And it's amazing to see. So I'm hoping me breaking it down this way, explaining it to some people, save somebody who are on the fringe of this spiritual war, who's getting destroyed by women, who just, you got two options. You really do. Put your foot down, tell them to follow or shut up, or you have to leave. That's always an option. You don't have to take abuse. That's what women do, right? It's like, just leave. A single man is much more happier than a single woman. That's for sure. Because women can't lead themselves. Follow the blind leading the blind. That don't make any sense. Women are made to follow. Men are made to lead. So, like, I can live by myself forever and not complain. I'll just work and play video games. And save money and start a business and travel. And I can do that forever. I could, because I'm a man. And eventually, because if you get enough money, some woman's going to get on your page. Seriously, some woman's going to be like, oh, he got money. He knows what he's doing. He's living life. He's interesting. You know, some woman will get on my page for sure. That's not, no man is going to get on a woman's page, because this will happen to him. This video, everything that happened in this video would happen to him. So to end, God bless you. I hope this helps men get out of or handle evil more, and I hope this helps a woman. Even if this helps one person, I think this would be great to open their minds to what's actually happening. This is a spiritual battle, and if I can help a woman realize she's being evil and they'll break out of that, awesome. If I can help a man realize he's dealing with evil and he can fight that, amazing. I think the quicker we call it what it is, the quicker we can actually get rid of the problems. And it's evil. What's happening is evil. That's evil, to resent a father for spending time with his children. Evil.